Hello, good afternoon, family, and happy Valentine's Day to those who celebrate, okay? So, the internet is crazy, y'all. The stuff that I see on the internet, right? So, yesterday I seen this video of a man who calls himself a pastor, but is married to a man, okay? If that's not a oxymoron, I don't know what, right? And then I just seen a video of a jiu-jitsu master or whatever raped his own son, 12-month-old son, right? And then killed him. It's like, what is going on in the world, right? If you read Revelations, God talk about people like this, right? He said, outside are the dogs, those who practice magic art, the sexually immoral, the murderers, the idlers, and everyone who loves and practices falsehood. So that preacher, he like doing a double no-no, right? Because he doing the sexual immoral and he's practicing falsehood. And he's supposed to be teaching God's children. How you go teach God's children to not give into their sins and you like full on into yours, right? How can you teach somebody something that you're not even practicing? Right? So God He wanted me to talk to y'all today on this Valentine's Day about sexually immoral relationships, acts. Okay, so we all know the story in Genesis about Lot and his daughters, how after God had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, his daughters got him drunk and they both had sexual relationships with him and bear children, okay? But we just read in Revelations what happens like when you do sexual immoral acts, right? God said you're going to be outside the gate. And if you read the book of Jubilees chapter 16, it confirms that, right? Verse 6, and it says, God will execute judgment on the places where they have done according to the uncleanness of the Sodomites, like unto the judgment of Sodom. But Lot were saved, for God remembered Abraham and sent him out from the midst of the overthrow. And he and his daughter committed sin upon the earth, such as had not been on the earth since the days of Adam until his time. For the man lay with his daughters, and behold, it was commanded and engraved concerning all his seeds in the heavenly tables to remove them and root them out and to execute judgment upon them like judgment of Sodom, and to leave no seed of the man on earth on the day of condemnation. Okay, so as you can see in the book of Jubilees, like, God does not play. When he say you go be outside them gates, you go be outside them gates, right? And so these are the acts that God says, we shouldn't be doing, okay? It says, no one should have any close relative to have sexual relationships, okay? No one is to approach any close relative to have sexual relationships, okay? So he's already talking about Lot and his daughters, right? Like, if y'all relatives, Y'all shouldn't be having sex. Brother, sister, cousin, uncle, niece, auntie, right? And he go keep going, right? Because he said no relative, but he go deep, dive deep in what type of relatives he's talking about, right? So the second one says, do not honor your father by having sexual relationships with your mother, the mother that gave birth to you. Don't have sex with her, right? That's what it says. This is Leviticus 18. For anybody that's wondering, okay? And then it says, do not have any sexual relationships with your father's wife, so your stepmother, okay? Don't have sex with your mother. Don't have sex with your stepmother, okay? Then it says, do not have any sexual relationships with your sister, either your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, okay? So if it's your full sister, your half sister, your stepsister, do not have sex with her, okay? As my daughter say, sweet home Alabama. Every time when I read this to her, she was like, that's some sweet home Alabama stuff. And she always did a country boy. She crazy, y'all. And then it says, do not have sexual relationships with your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter. So your grandkids, okay? Don't be having sex with your grandkids, okay? It says, do not have sexual relationships the daughter of your father's wife. So like I said, stepsister, the daughter of your father's wife, your stepmother, her daughter. Don't have sex with your stepsister or your stepbrother, okay? Do not have sexual relationships with your father's sister, your aunt, okay? Don't have sex with your aunt, okay? Do not have sexual relationships with your mother's sister, okay? So that's the same thing. It's still your aunt, but it's just saying either on your father's side or your mother's side, it's still your aunt. Don't have sex with her, okay? It says, do not dishonor your father's brother by approaching his wife to have sexual relationships with her. She's your aunt, okay? So that's another aunt, okay? Your father's brother or sister, brother's wife, that's still your aunt, right? Because that's your uncle. God said, even though she's not related to you, that's a dishonor to your uncle, right? Don't do that, okay? And it says, do not dishonor, hold on, sorry. I already read that. It says, do not have sexual relationships with your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife, okay? Daughter-in-law, son-in-law, off limits, okay? This is God telling us, right? But we see it all the time. It says, do not have sexual relationships with both woman and her daughter. So don't be having sex with a mother and her daughter. I've seen the video of this, a man getting with a woman and then messing with her daughter, getting her pregnant. Same thing. Don't mess with the woman and her daughter, okay? This is God's word, all right? Do not have sexual relationships with your brother's wife, okay? So your sister-in-law, don't have sex with her when you think your brother not looking, okay? Okay? Do not have sexual relationships, let's see where I left off. Do not take your wife's sister as a rival wife and have sexual relationships with her while your wife is living, okay? Do not approach a woman to have sexual relationships with her during her uncleanness, her period, okay? Do not have sexual relationships with your neighbor's wife. Do not sacrifice your children to Molech. Do not have sexual relationships with a man as you do a woman. That's detestable. And do not have sexual relationships with animals, okay? Let me tell y'all. Joseph was a beautiful man. It says it so many times. And men and women loved how he looked. He could have had both, but he had discipline, okay? You guys